war, drought, poor health care, cultural instability. These are some of the many problems facing the country of Afghanistan today, and in this brief film, we are going to address several of them, including drought, crumbling infrastructure, high birth rate, poor health care, and poor education. As we all know, Afghanistan has long been a hotbed of conflict dating back to the Cold War. Along with poverty, corruption, and harsh weather conditions, war has severely damaged Afghanistan's infrastructure or transport systems, communications, and utilities. Several methods of solving the problem of crumbling infrastructure have presented themselves as Afghanistan has been thrust into the spotlight since its internal problems have become global problems following the United States invasion in late 2001. One of the solutions is a direct result of this. The United States has constructed miles of roads and facilitates lots of communication networks in order to move troops and supplies around the country. Another good way to solve the problem with infrastructure is also being led by the United States. Rather than bringing in contractors to build roads and other components of infrastructure, the United States is training Afghans to build their own infrastructure. Of the two, this method is superior because it is sustainable and provides a way for Afghans to learn how to solve their own internal problems. However, once the military forces and trainers leave, the Afghan population may be unable to maintain their infrastructure without enforcement and guidance. In addition to infrastructure problems, Afghanistan has an extremely high birth rate. With almost 39 births per 1,000 people every year, it has the 10th highest birth rate worldwide. Though overpopulation is not a problem, the birth rate is still unhealthily high, and a young population puts a strain on resources and impedes development. One method of lowering the birth rate is through the institution of a one-child policy. Unlike in countries like China where this has worked, however, Afghanistan lacks a strong central government to enforce it, and low female literacy rates often prevent the use of family planning services. Another solution to the high birth rate problem is an increase in women's education. This can be facilitated while the U.S. military is present in Afghanistan. However, the Taliban, an extreme Islamist group, is vehemently anti-women's rights, and as soon as the United States leaves Afghanistan, the Taliban may begin to persecute women who attempt to use family planning or educate themselves.
The decades of conflict, ongoing instability, overall poverty, prolonged droughts, and susceptibility to other natural hazards, population increase, and influx of displaced and returning population have all exacted a heavy toll on the environment and natural resource base of the country. The degradation of the natural resource base directly and severely impacts the livelihood of the majority of the Afghan population, as well as the country's economic development as a whole. For instance, poor uncoordinated management and excessive extraction of water for agricultural purposes, combined with long years of drought, has led to drastic declines in water flows in the Helmand River, and 99% desiccation of its downstream system wetlands, which is an important source of agricultural production, making drought the most pressing environmental issue in the region. An organization, Practical Action, has completed water-saving techniques in Zimbabwe involving clay pipes made by the women of the community. The pipes were used to carry water underground for irrigation in order to reduce evaporation. As a result, crops only needed watering twice a week instead of 4 times, and the volume of water required fell by a half. The same technique may be used in Afghanistan to reduce the degradation of the water supplies. Water aid in Afghanistan from foreign countries, like Water Aid America, which supplies African countries with clean water, presents a quick fix for the region while they work to fix the problem for the future with better irrigation systems and through the use of water conservation techniques. Overall health expenditure, 9.6% of GDP. Physicians density, 0.19 physicians per 1,000 people. Death rate, 14.12 deaths per 1,000 people, which is the 7th highest in the world. Median age, 18 years. Life expectancy, 50.5 years. The health of a population is a key factor to the success of a country's economy and the productivity of its labor force. The labor force is comprised of those in the country who are ready, willing, and able to work. Health within the population of Afghanistan is in a state of crisis right now, especially as drought and other environmental problems have decreased the quality of the Afghan water supply and increased the population's susceptibility to waterborne illnesses. But the country does not have a supply of physicians or medical equipment needed to adequately combat the issue. The labor force is consequently diminished in size by the removal of those who are unable to participate as part of the labor force due to their health issues. Direct aid, like physicians and medical supplies, provide Afghanistan with the healthcare aid they are in dire need of due to their lack of physicians and medical equipment, giving them the time needed to fix the underlying issues in their healthcare system. Increased accessibility to medical educations in Afghanistan by making medical educations more available to the Afghan population means that more people will receive the required skills needed to become physicians, aiding in unemployment issues in the region by creating needed jobs in the healthcare system and providing necessary improvements to the health of the population in order for Afghanistan to thrive.
Education problems in Afghanistan have heightened in recent years. Within the last 30 years, Afghani women have especially suffered in educational opportunities due to cultural traditions and violence within the country. When the Taliban was toppled in 2001, opportunities for education increased dramatically. By 2010, primary school enrollment had increased from 1 million to 7 million, with girls comprising nearly 40% of students. Though enrollment has increased, there are still several problems that plague Afghanistan's educational systems. Recent violence, low-quality teachers, infrastructure, child labor, and an extremist curriculum are all contributing to the inability of students to receive a quality education. One solution to increase the quality of education is to have countries send aid to Afghanistan to renovate schools or construct new schools, to train teachers, and to pay for quality supplies and resources, like the United States has done for many African countries. Also, Afghanistan could revamp their entire educational system in a way that would bring more participation even in times of crisis. Either way, one of the most important aspects is that the government and country overall become more stable so that education can be a higher priority. Several of these issues are highly interlinked. Supply of water is a huge aspect of infrastructure and can be solved in a similar way. Additionally, health services provide family planning to Afghans, and by improving health services, more Afghans will receive access to contraception and other family planning resources. And finally, education plays a key role in birth rate control. As men and women are educated about their options, they are more likely to use family planning services. And that is a brief look at how to fix some problems faced by Afghanistan today. Thanks for watching.